This conference will now be recorded.
And I'm sharing my screen also. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Able to see the screen?
Oh, okay, super. Okay. Okay, so basically, Vinod, like I would like to take you through the training, Azure training, which is offered by Besant Technologies, and I hope you would have already seen the syllabus. So mostly we will touch into all the aspects of Azure or concepts and all which internally Azure is using to provide itself as a cloud platform to its customers. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so before going into anything, so the few things I would like to know about you. So
Yeah.
basically, like, why you want to learn Azure? Why not any other technology, or why not something else? So
Yeah.
anything specific to
Yeah.
Azure?
Short summary, sir. Yeah. Short summary about me is that I just into IT right from 1999, and I was
Okay.
into Lotus Domino administration for the last.
Uh-huh.
I can say it is more than. I think you might have heard about Lotus Domino.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
have worked in migration. Yes.
okay, great. So I don't know for what reason I was unable to get moved from Lotus Domino. Uh, I was total always even till now I am using. I was able to support Lotus Domino. I'm unable to change from any other platform. So because the projects which happen to come for me, it's all Lotus Domino related. So now I
Okay.
think you have heard about Domino. That is, it is no. I can't say it's no more, but the number of most of the companies have 99% of the companies got migrated to other platforms, and
Yes.
currently,
Yes.
my company is going for that is company in the sense actually I work for CTS, and
Okay. Okay.
in the project they are also got migrated to Office 365, and
Yes.
in Office 365 I don't have big challenges, but I like to explore something. Then only I have heard about Azure. Actually, O365 comes under Azure. They are
Yes.
offering messaging platform. Azure is that is instead of Exchange. That is
Yes.
so. I thought better instead of I even tried joining in Amazon AWS. That is last year, but it
Okay.
was again an online course with self-paced training, not what is it?
Instructor based.
Is texture based. So even
Okay.
that was
Okay.
a flop because in the sense I was unable to keep in track what to do next. They told me to just in case if you find difficulty, you can just reach out to me. But it was not a systematic thing. I was not able to get involved, or I don't know. So I thought Azure will be better, and I have got one of my friends who has just learned some Oracle from Descent Technologies. So they told that it will be worth if you just join there.
Your voice is breaking.
No, no. One of my friend who has done Oracle in Besant Technologies has just recommended
Okay.
that you can just go
Okay.
instructed based learning. And currently, I don't know where to start from Azure because it's a big. I know it's a cloud. We says YAS, PIAS, YAS, and
Correct.
SIAS,
Yes.
something like that. So
Yes. Yes.
there are much, and I don't know where I will fit in because I was involved in messaging technology and with their applications. So where I will fit in, I don't know in Azure. So I just wanted to learn Azure and see going forward. I don't know in another 1 year or 2 years they will need me because for Office 365 you can just also just give a KT to a person who is having lesser experience. They will be able to benefit out of it. They don't want a senior associate to get join something like that, no? So I thought
Okay.
learning better Azure this time will be better in this period.
Okay. 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 And any certifications you want to pursue, or you just want to learn for project related and for your knowledge and all, like cracking
Both,
interviews, anything like that?
both, because without certificate I can't explore more things because even If I just want to move into another project which has Azure, and
Correct.
if I don't have much experience, O365 is different, but they might seek my Azure experience. So certification is a must for me if I need to
Okay.
pursue
Okay.
Azure area.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you for that introduction, Vinod. So, regarding me, so I'm going to complete 10 years in IT, and out of that, so my starting years I was into development. So then I went into administration, and now I am fully collaboration consultant. So I
Okay.
consult mostly around so entire cloud platform, that is Office 65, Azure, let it be a SharePoint, so Box, DocuSign, Lintex, so all kinds of Office 65 products, they fall into our bucket, and we provide the client with a solution which may involve any or all of these products. So tomorrow, if say a client is coming and asking me like, I need application which can do these and these things, and it should be scalable, it should be manageable easily, I don't need to bear too much cost. So keeping all the things in mind, so we would recommend them to have a Azure or go for SharePoint or have a some other platform, when to go for a IR solution, when to go for a PaaS solution. So uh, that's how like we I like me and my team, we deal in around.
Okay.
So coming to Azure, so so we have different teams for different purpose. So we have Azure team who takes care of the administration and everything. So we have a IaaS team who takes care of the infrastructure, Azure infrastructure and all. So we have a PaaS team who takes care of all the platform related activities, and whatever applications will be uh, hosted in Azure or will be authenticated through Azure and all, everything will be managed by them. So normally nobody has a SaaS team in Azure. So SaaS is basically is the application which is hosted on top of Azure, and that is mostly a SaaS for the users. So we'll see
Okay.
more on that once we go to the training.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so second thing is so normally the course which is syllabus which is given in the Western technology side, so that is actually Windows Azure. So
Okay.
Windows Azure, what Microsoft did is, so it has when building Azure, it had built up all the small components everywhere, and it had just built the entire structure out of it. So in 2015, so they made Windows Azure to Microsoft Azure, and they
Okay.
built everything into specific components and group. They polished all the things in Azure, so it came up as a product called Microsoft Azure. So that's what like we have now, and that's what we are like I'll cover in this course.
Okay.
Okay. So third
Okay.
thing is, so the course which is present in the site, so it is actually if I go into each and every topic and if I explain like it will be a huge time length and all. So
Okay.
if you see the syllabus also, so mostly they will have introduction to everything. So introduction to VMs, introduction to networking in Azure, introduction to everything. So mostly they're talking about theoretical and introduction part. They are not asking you to deep dive into it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and most of the, because in the training when you go into the Azure portal and you create a VM, you create a networking, or you create a security group and everything, so everything takes time. It takes like 5 minutes to get a VM created or 10 minutes to get it deployed. So uh, getting your code ready and building it and deploying it, so everything has its own time. So if so previously I used to do that. So I used to go into the portal, I used to create a VM, and I used to so me and my students, we used to wait until the VM gets created, and then only I can go inside the VM and show them.
Okay.
Okay. So recently, like I had a student where they wanted like they wanted to complete the course as fast as possible. So, like they didn't had much time, and they wanted to learn Azure within like 10 classes or 15 classes like that. So
Okay.
to accommodate their need, so what we did is, pardon me one second. Sorry.
You got cold.
Yeah, actually from past 3 days I'm having it. So I took
Okay.
a like cough syrup now also.
Okay. Last week it was our turn. So we,
Yeah.
myself, my daughter, all had the same.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was saying like, so to accommodate that need, so what I did is, so whatever I did in Azure, like step by step, when I go into this screen, then click some button, go into the other screen, click some button, go into the other screen. So all those things, when I do it in Azure, it'll take some time, maybe one
Right,
minute or 10 seconds or 30
right,
seconds.
I
So
understood.
internet and all is, you know how it is outside the company, right? So what I
Right,
did is I took screenshots of every action.
right.
Okay, so I have the screenshots like fully step by step everything, each and every page when I how I move in Azure, I have the screenshots. So using those screenshots, I gave the training, and so in Azure you can create a trial tenant, so which will cost you like ₹2, and they will revert back that ₹2 to your account also. So you can use a credit card or a debit card. So once you go for a trial tenant, it will have $200 in it. So almost like 13,000 something rupees will be there. So with
Okay,
13,000 rupees, it will be valid for 30 days. Your portal will be valid for 1 year, but this 13,000 rupees will be there only for 30 days. So within this, sorry. So within this 30 days, you can do all the things whichever I'm teaching. So you can do it in the portal, and you can learn more, explore more, and know how exactly it happens in Azure.
okay, understood, understood.
So I'm very sorry. I'll be sipping a lot of water in our
No
discussion.
problem, no problem, sir.
Okay. So basically like so when I did follow this path, right? So if I'm deploying a VM, if I'm deploying a Azure machine, or if I'm deploying a SQL DB, so I don't have to wait for the 15 minutes. So I give
Right,
it to the students, all the screenshots and everything, all materials I will share with the students, and they will go and create their portal in their own free time, and they can go through the screenshots and they can try it out. So no matter how much I tell, or how much I show you or explain you, so if you're not doing it on your own, so in 2 to 3 days
we
you'll
will,
forget it.
right, right. We need to
So that's
practice.
the reason. Okay. So apart from the trial tenant, so there is also something called Microsoft Self-Paced Labs. So basically, these are like labs or created by Microsoft, and they will be made available to you for like 1 hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes. So in the 30 minutes, you can learn about the Azure, and you can learn about whatever they're trying to teach you, or you can do whatever you need in that. So there, they will give you a username and password, which will have a Azure subscription, and you can play around in that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so mostly like I try to cover the first certification of Azure, that is the 7532 certification, which is developing solutions for Azure, or developing
Okay,
Azure solutions. So there are next certification is 533, so which is mostly regarding implementation and all, and the final one is architecting. So so once we learn the developing the solutions, so there whatever we have learned how to develop and all, only those things you're going to implement it in the next stage. And
okay, sir.
architects will be the one who will be designing all your network and everything. Okay,
Okay,
so this is basically the classification of the exams. So I will be covering the first exam, 7532. So even
okay,
like in that also, so I will try to cover uh, almost all the modules. I have it like in 4 folders, so I'll go into the agenda soon. So mostly like all those modules we will try to see, and how it can be implemented in Azure also. I will give you the screenshots. I will show you the screenshots, and if you have like, you can give me even like 1 hour time of yourself to learn, you can learn it easily.
yeah, please. Just a minute, please.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Sorry.
No problem.
This
Okay,
conference will
Yeah,
now
yeah,
be
just pause.
recorded.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, so we will see. So today's class, I will try to cover the basics of cloud, and little bit of Azure, like what is Azure and how it came into picture. So
Okay.
from the next class, we will be covering fully into the topics and all.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
And
another one
yeah,
for, yeah, tell
yeah.
me.
Before that, can we discuss regarding the classroom sessions? Can we have it? I think you are taking the classes on Saturdays, on Sundays, on in the evening, from 7 to.
No, no. So actually, I have office from 2 to 11. So I'll be taking
Uh-huh.
classes in the morning in OMR branch.
No, in the weekends. I'm just talking about in
So
the
you want to
week.
take it online, or you want to like
Yeah,
come
in the
here and take the?
online.
Yeah, online on the weekend and weekdays also. I can take it in the morning.
Yeah, in the weekends, sir. What is the timings?
Same in the morning time I can take. So mostly evening time I'll have my family, daughter, and also
Okay, okay.
that's the reason. But this
Fine.
time, if it is okay for you, it is fine.
No problem. I can just have it in the morning. Morning, what is the timing you want? It is 7 to?
7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30 at least. If you can give me also, is fine.
Yeah, 7 to 8:30 will be fine, sir.
Okay, okay. Like if you need on the, so this you're talking about in the weekends, right?
Yeah, in the weekends.
Okay, so weekdays it is not
Because,
possible.
no, sir, actually my timings are again 2:30 to 11:30. And in the mornings, I can't even, I don't know what happens. In the weekdays, totally I am out of sync. I will be always connected to office. They need to just give a checklist or I need to just provide a report in 11:30. Though my
Okay,
shift starts, so it will be a little difficult for. I have to be always be present in the morning.
okay, 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 okay. No problem, no problem. Then, so mostly Saturday, Sunday, we'll extend it like maybe like 2 hours we can do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then like Saturday, Sunday morning 7 to 9, I think will be
Yeah,
right.
7 to 9 will be fine, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll just note that. Right. So anytime, like if you have any other commitments or I have any commitments, I'll let you know ahead that I can take the
Sure.
class or not. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's what my fourth point was, like regarding the classes and all how to take it. Okay. So
Yeah.
that got cleared. Okay. So next, let's jump into a little bit about cloud computing and Microsoft Azure.
Yeah.
So the first question which comes to mind is why we need a cloud, or what is a cloud and why we need a cloud.
Okay.
So if you go to the, like, since you have a good amount of experience in IT, you will be already aware like how IT manages data. So mostly we will have on-premise service.
Right, sir.
So we'll have data centers maybe in UK, maybe in Shanghai or US somewhere. So in mostly in these data centers, we have servers and we have a network built around them. So here in the servers, all the data and everything of our companies and applications get managed. Correct.
Right. Right.
So right now, if you see, everyone is talking about like I need it very fast. Things I want very fast, and I
Yeah.
want everything to be increased or decreased. With my snap of my finger. So mostly like the capabilities which the cloud provides, it's all like these are the things which today in the world it is required. So say for example, like I have a data center in say London, and tomorrow like my company is going to recruit another some 1,000 people or 50,000 people. Or
Right.
say for example, we will take the example of Amazon or Flipkart, and I'm going to have a big billion day sale or some sale is going to happen. So normally my servers used to get hit by say 1,000 users, but when a sale is happening, it will be hit by 10,000 or 50,000 users.
Right.
Correct. So
Understood.
definitely my server will go down.
Yeah.
So I need to scale up my server so that I can accommodate all these requests. Number one. So number two, once the sale is over, again I should be able to release the resources so that I'll come back to my original size and all, my normal 1,000 people hitting and all.
Understood.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So then comes the fact that if you're having an on-premise data center and you need more space or more servers, so there are a lot of approvals which you need to get from the particular country's government or from the that particular country to set up a data center in their location, and you need to get all the standardizations, ISO, CMMI, or all the standardization need to be done. So you need to procure all the servers, you need to purchase all the resources. So it will definitely going to take like 3 to 6 months of time.
Right, sir. Yeah.
Right, but so to accommodate all these kind of things, they came up with a concept called cloud. So when I say cloud, cloud is basically servers and all which are placed in someone else's place, and they are managing the servers, and they are giving the server to you as a service. Okay,
Right.
so they have mainly three different categories of services in which they are providing you the infrastructure server.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so okay, so this is the agenda, like what is cloud computing, characteristics of it, categories. So who are the providers, and we'll go into Azure, and also we'll see the other things of Azure.
Understood. Yes.
Okay, so like I talked about, so cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient. So it first thing is it should be convenient. I should be easily able to access it. So second thing is on demand. So whenever I need, you make it available,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Third is network access. So
Right.
over internet or over a network, I need the data. I don't have to go to the server. I mean, like physically, I don't have to go to there and get the hard disk or anything. So it should be available over the internet.
Okay.
Okay. So third thing is shared pool. So when I say shared pool, so basically what I'm talking here is about the space which server is giving you or the vendor is giving you. So let it be Microsoft or Amazon or Rackspace or anyone. So basically that space, that hard disk or whatever the drive or whatever they have, so that is shared between organizations. So, say for
Right.
example, my company is using Azure, and your company is also using Azure. Say TCS is having
Mhm.
a Azure, Microsoft Azure enabled for them, and Cognizant is also having. So, if
Yeah.
you go and ask the Microsoft that give me the logs specific to my tenant, so Microsoft will not provide it. So Microsoft will say like, since it is a shared pool, I can't provide you the logs because in the same logs, other organizations' data is also there.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
will say like, you tell me what is your problem. I will figure out on my side if it is because of me, and I will give you the data.
Okay.
Okay. So they won't share the logs with you because it's a shared pool. Okay.
Okay.
It's a shared pool of configurable computing resources. So configurable. Easily I can configure my environment to adequate my necessities. So I can increase the RAM size. I can increase the CPU size. I can increase its throughput. I can increase the networking capacity. So I can configure the server as per my need. I can have it as a web server. I can have it as a DB server, right? So I can configure it as per my needs. So next one is computing. So Azure internally computes how much capacity of server you need. So internally, it is computing that okay, if you need a server of this size and this RAM and this hard disk, I'll be charging you this much.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the computations and all which is happening inside Azure. So it's both the charges plus how Azure internally runs all these things. Right, so that is
Okay.
the computing. So computing resources. So when we say resources, we mean networks, server, storage, applications, and services which are provided by the vendor.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so if I need it by tomorrow also, yes, it is possible, I can provision it to you tomorrow.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so
There is on
easily or
demand. Yeah.
rapidly it can be provisioned.
Yeah.
Yes, and released with minimal management effort. So when I say like I need it tomorrow, my server should be from 100 TB, it should go to 1000 TB. So I don't need to send a big team of 4 to 5 people or more than that to go there and do all the tasks and everything. So from the Azure portal itself, I can scale my application, and I just
Understood.
need maybe 1 to 2 administrators for that.
Okay.
Right. So minimal management effort. Okay, or the service providers interaction. So say for example, you belong to the Azure administration team of your company, then you don't have to go to Microsoft to ask you to increase it. So even from the portal, if you have the access, you can go and increase it. Okay.
Okay.
So the last and most important is availability. So all cloud services right now, AWS, Microsoft, Rackspace, Luna Cloud, they're saying like we can make your services available 100% uptime.
Right.
So not
Yeah.
100%, they're saying like 99.9%. So in case of any catastrophe, any disaster, so say for example your data center was destroyed, some natural disaster happened, or some terrorist attack happened, and anything, any data loss happened. So everything is backed up at secure locations, and we can easily get the backup data, or we can switch to a recovery data recovery servers, or DR servers immediately, disaster recovery servers immediately, and your application won't face a downtime. You'll never see like service unavailable and all.
Understood.
Okay, so based on that, they will prepare the agreement, and if they're not able to commit to that agreement, they will be paying heavy fine.
Okay.
Okay. So next we will go into characteristics. Okay. So when coming to characteristics, so first is on demand. So when I need it, I can get it. When I don't need it, I can like remove the server from my thing, and I'll continue with my existing servers. Okay. So scalable. So scalable means I can increase my structure in size. I can decrease my structure in size. I can increase the number of resources I have, or I can decrease the number of resources I have. So basically, I'm talking about like if I have a server of say 1 TB, I can increase it to 100 TB. So that is called like vertical vertical scaling. So we'll see that. So or if I have like one VM, I can have like multiple VMs, 5 VMs, 6 VMs. So if that tomorrow I have a big billion day sale, I can increase my VM size also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it all depends on how much resource you have, or how what is the requirement. So if I have a small requirement, I'll increase my server's size. I'll go for vertical scaling. So if my requirement size is more like I need, definitely I'll need multiple VMs with multiple load balancers and network and all. So definitely I'll go for a horizontal scaling. Okay, so
Okay.
third thing is multi-tenant. So like I explained, so the same space will be provided to let it be say Cognizant, TCS, or any other company. So whoever are using Azure, or using any of the services which are hosted in Azure, like Office 65, Exchange, or messaging, Skype, any of the Office 65 services, it's all underlying the same pool, and multiple tenants are using the same services. Okay. So third thing is self-service computation. So basically, all the services which are provided to us, let it be IaaS, SaaS, PaaS, and all. So the computations are all happening into you. You will be just going and selecting that I need this particular service with this package, and then internally it will calculate how many servers it needs, how many databases it needs, how many hard drives it needs. So whatever is required and whatever the pricing will come up, it will show you the estimate. So it is doing everything on its own. You are not going and putting a hard disk into the server and plugging it. So
We just
everything
have
it's
it
all.
post our requirements.
Yes.
We, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then is storage resource. So mostly when you store the data in on-premise servers or in your local, you will use a file share, or basically you will go for a database. So let it be SQL, Oracle, or any resource. So what if I need to store one full hard disk? Or what if I need to store a lot of videos or a lot of images which I needed to be streamed, like YouTube and all? So that time again, Azure has come up with storage resources. So they're providing you blogs, page blogs, media services, tables, queues, and all, which according to your need you can utilize them, and you can store data in them.
Okay.
Okay, so as a storage, so we saw Azure giving you VM. We saw it can provide that, it can be given a network. It can also provide you a security group. It can provide you automation. It can provide you storage also.
Okay.
So
Now,
next one is
automation in the sense,
it's reliability.
sorry, there was some
So
gap.
so Microsoft Azure.
There was a lag while you're talking something.
Hello, your voice is breaking, Raj.
No, no,
Can you hear
the
me?
same thing. Yeah, I'm able to hear. While you're explaining about automation, there was some breaking. It was not clear.
Okay, 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 okay. So mostly what will happen is like when you are going for this computation or automation and all. So when I say automation, I mean like you can have some scripts or some conditions in which automatically scaling will happen in your system, automatically time and also you can schedule it also. So lot of
Okay.
functionalities are available.
Right. Right.
So coming to reliability, so Microsoft has standards, that is the ISO standard or CMMI standard or whatever standards are there in the world right now. So it has got those standards. So that's why like people have trust on Microsoft that yes, it is going to deliver whatever it is saying that it can deliver.
Right.
Okay, so just because tomorrow if somebody is coming and saying like I can give you all these things, so just like that you can't give them the project, right?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
need to
Right.
know like how can I will be sure that you can give me. So even if
Okay.
you say that you can pay me fine, but how can I be sure that you have the money to give me the fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that time all these standards and all, they help Microsoft to prove that I have these standards or certifications in place, and I have got all these certifications for my technology. So I have been acknowledged by renowned resources that I can provide this data to you. So based on that trust, you will be giving the project to Azure. Okay. So last is the utility based subscription. So various level of subscription that there, free trial we have, premium, then the organization one's wide subscription is there. So based on your requirement, your subscription will be charged. So it's mostly like a pay as you go policy. So if you need more, we'll charge you more. If you need less, we will again reduce your costs and all.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Understood.
okay. Any questions on the characteristics, Vinod?
No, sir. It's okay. I'm okay with this.
Okay. And in the slides itself, like so here if you come to the bottom, I will have the notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the basically like whatever I'm talking about, so I have it in the notes, so it'll be easy for you to
Sure.
follow. And if a definition of what is a VM or something, so you can get it from MSGN article itself.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I always recommend to follow MSDN article rather than any PDF or any books or anything, because that's the MSDN is the place where they keep everything updated.
Okay.
So say for example, in my course today, something is available, and 1 year back, when you come back and see this PPT, so things would have changed. So that part might have moved to some other service, or that might have been deprecated, and something new might have come up in that place. So that's why I always encourage students to follow the MSDN articles.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So next is categories. So this, like you already mentioned. So when it comes to on-premise, okay, let me just small this down. So when it comes to on-premise category, so if you see, this is how the in the organization the structure is. So at the bottom, you'll have the networking or the virtual network or the VPN. So on inside the VPN, you'll have the storage. That is the mostly your storage structure and these things. So on top of the storage, you'll have the servers. So the storage and servers will go hand in hand always. And once you have the storage and servers configured, you'll have the virtualization. That is the VM.
Okay.
Okay, so this VM is like a if you have heard of VMware and all, so
Yeah.
it's basically turns your system into multiple systems, right?
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
if like you one system is 4 GB RAM, another one is 6 GB RAM, and in total you have only 6 GB RAM, so it allocates the memory based on the need, right? So you can achieve virtualization here. So on top of
Okay.
virtualization, you'll have your operating system installed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so then you will have some kind of middleware which mostly talks to your operating system and your applications. So then you can have some runtime applications or some processes which are already running. Okay, on top of that you'll have your data, that may be your database or SQL or Azure SQL or something, and on top of that
Okay.
you'll have your applications installed. Okay, so
Okay.
this is how
Okay.
the on-premise is there, and here everything is maintained by your company.
Right.
Correct. So when we come to Azure or cloud, so we have basically three types of services. So we have infrastructure as a service or IaaS, we have platform as a service or PaaS, and we have software as a service called as SaaS.
Right.
So when it comes to infrastructure as a service, so in this part, so say for example, I have a small company and I say like I don't have the money for everything. So but I have the money to manage only these things. So
Okay.
what the vendor will say like, fine. What we will do is we will manage all these things and you take care of everything.
Okay.
Okay, so even here also one interesting thing comes. So my company has a IaaS team. Okay, and
Hmm.
they say like, okay, we will manage the IaaS, and we just need the basic platform from Azure. So that time,
Okay.
what will happen is this virtualization, server, storage, and networking and all will be done by my IaaS team, my company's infrastructure team, and this will be handled by some other team. So maybe the PaaS team will handle this, and software team will handle the top part.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so when it comes again to the platform as a service, so till this virtualization, say for example, it's managed by the IaaS team. So this is managed by your PaaS team, and this will be managed by your software as a service team.
Okay.
Okay, so last is the software as a service. So when it comes to software as a service, so if you see right now like Facebook, WhatsApp, or any that driver service like Ola, Uber, and all, so everything is a software to the user,
Right.
right? So for you, it's a software. A Facebook is a software where you go and you do something in it. So you are not
Right.
worried like where they store your data, in which data center your data is, what is the networking in that. So you don't have to worry about that. You just need
Right.
to make sure that it's running fine in your mobile, right? So
Right.
for
I
you,
understood.
it is the software. But for the Facebook team or the company Facebook, it may be a PaaS. So for them, the Azure is a platform where they have deployed their code, they have deployed their database, and they're making the integrations and all happening between Facebook and other things, right? So for them, it is a platform as a service.
Okay.
But for the user, it is a software as a service. So based on your standpoint, it depends like whether you're looking at a PaaS or you're looking at it as a SaaS.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Understood.
so this part is a little confusing. So you just think it through. So I have it mentioned also in the next slides and all. So if you
Okay.
feel
Okay.
anything like difficult, you
No, no.
let me know.
I can understand about these things.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, you can just skip this part. Yes, yes, and this yes, and okay
Correct.
with this.
Okay. Okay. So one thing here, like this is one of the important things. So this also comes in the exam. So what is a web role and what is a worker role? So
Okay.
basically, a web role is an Azure virtual machine that is pre-configured as a web server. So basically, it works as a web service or web server, which takes care of all the applications which are loaded for web service and all. So this
Okay.
will basically create a public endpoint for your application, maybe a website or API or something similar. Okay, so this is a web role. It's the actual server which is listening or which is tendering to your request whatever you are making. So
Okay.
internally what happens is, so we have something called worker roles. So basically the worker roles run alongside your web roles, and your web role will be giving tasks to the worker roles. So say for example you want some calculation to happen, and for that you ask the web role to go and do this, give me this entire data. So web role will go and ask the different worker roles that I want this data to be fetched. So to another one it will say like you do this computation on this data. To another one it will say like you transform the data, and finally you give me the output. So the worker roles are
Where
the
did
ones which
this?
internally, pardon me?
No, no. Where does this requirement actually comes? Web role and worker role, or how does this requirement arise?
No,
Uh,
here something is like, so requirement is something like, say for example, I need a VM.
okay.
Okay, simple example. I need a virtual machine right now for XYZ purpose. Okay, so basically you're going to the Azure portal and you will be doing create virtual machine and all, and you will give your configuration and you click create. Right.
Right.
So the virtual machine which gets created and all, so that is the web role. Okay,
Okay.
but internally, when this internally what Azure does is it goes and tells it worker roles that this virtual machine is getting created, and you are going to give me data regarding the virtual machine. So you're going to, so one of the worker role is going to give me the diagnostics. So one of the
Okay.
other worker role is going to give me some other support of that virtual machine, like maybe the logs, maybe the event viewer, what is happening. So basically, these worker roles support the web roles. Okay, so
Okay.
these, like I mentioned here, so these run alongside your web roles and are responsible for performing computing functions to support your application.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so
Okay.
basically, it will accept some sort of user input and queue up the action to a worker role.
Okay. Understood.
Okay, so web role will be accepting the input and it will be sending it to the worker role to process at a later time. So this is also
Okay.
called like fire and forget tasks.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is the main difference between web role and worker role.
Okay.
Okay, so all this information I have copied from MSDN articles only. So you can follow the articles to get a better understanding with big
Yeah.
examples and all those things. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So next thing is software as a service. So like I said, Office 365 or Salesforce. So all these things are running as software as a service.
Okay.
So next, going into the providers. So currently in the market, so these are the top five, top six providers of cloud solutions. So Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services. So they both are the major competitors.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Why say
CloudForge,
why
pardon?
Salesforce is not there? Salesforce or Salesforce is just as CS or
Salesforce, if you see here, so Salesforce is actually a software as a service.
okay.
So
Okay.
it is a software hosted on other platforms.
Right. Right. Understood, sir.
Okay. So provider like Microsoft is the provider of cloud, so it named it cloud as Azure. So Amazon
Okay.
is naming its cloud as Amazon Web Services. So similarly, CloudForge, Engineered, so Rackspace, Lunar Cloud. So all are these are the top providers. So there are a lot of other providers available in the market. So based
Yeah.
on the money and all, you can go for that. So why people mostly prefer Microsoft is because Microsoft will throw in a lot of goodies, like
Right.
if I'm going for say 5000 Azure licenses, so Microsoft will tell like, okay, you take these many SharePoint licenses, these many messaging licenses. So
Right.
that's how like Microsoft markets its products,
Right.
right? So along with Azure and all, you will get Azure, you'll get SharePoint, you'll get Skype, so you may get Microsoft Teams, some planner licenses. So that's
Right.
how they market it.
Right.
So,
Right.
like one simple thing is like, say, for example, my company has 50,000 Azure Premium licenses, free two licenses.
Right.
Okay. So Microsoft has given to us for free,
Okay. Okay.
but no one like in your company, like maximum there will be 3 to 4 people who will be Azure admins and they need P2 license.
Okay.
Okay. So all that other licenses, they are just there. Okay,
Okay.
so Microsoft knows that they are not going to consume it, so it has just given it to us. So what are we going to do? Nothing, right? So we can't give someone a P2 license. So tomorrow, what if he goes into Azure and does something or purchases something? So that's the reason,
Right.
like how Microsoft plays.
Okay.
Okay, so now coming to Microsoft Azure. So as I mentioned earlier, so it was before called Windows Azure, and it's a cloud computing service created by Microsoft for building, testing, deploying, and managing applications and services through the global network of Microsoft managed data centers.
Okay. Okay.
So Microsoft is managing, it's clearly mentioned that are managed by us. And you don't have to worry about the security or if your data is going out of Microsoft bounds and all. So whatever SLA or service level agreement you're signing with us, that is correct. That is that your data is with us only. Okay.
Okay.
So it provides software as a service like SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, and all. And it also supports many different programming languages, tools, frameworks. So including both Microsoft specific and also third-party softwares and systems. So Azure was announced in 2008 itself, October, and it got released in 2010 as Windows Azure. And in 2014, March 25th, it was named to Microsoft Azure.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Okay. Okay. So little bit of history. So this is actually boring. So mostly like how they moved from Windows Azure platform to Microsoft Azure and how they're moving ahead with it. So this, like you can see it, it's actually not that much important if you're going for an interview or something and they're asking like what was the update, this and that. So maybe that time you need to mug up all these things and you can answer.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So coming to the architecture. So this is actually the Windows platform architecture. So same thing is similar thing is there for Microsoft Azure also. So basically the bottom layer is the data layer. So here all of the drives, blobs, we'll see what are blobs and all, what is tables, queues. So all these things we'll see. So they are present at the bottom layer. So on
Okay.
top of that, you will build your applications or your PaaS layer. So even you can have your VMs and all, which is your IaaS layer also. And again, big data and everything you can have on top of that. Then comes the integration layer. Here, your applications, say your website will talk to your PaaS or website will talk to your IaaS, and you can have some integrations between the different services. So that's why it is the integration layer. So you can have a
Okay.
service bus, you can have access control, data sync between directories, or connections between multiple, say, PaaS solution, one IaaS solution. So that all things you can manage here. And last one is the client layer. So here the actual device is there of the client. So let it be the PC, tablet, phone, or browser. And what kind of applications also they are running will be in the top layer.
Okay. And one more
Okay, so
doubt: why
this
is EAS is an application layer? Why actually we can see that drives or whatever, why it needs to
correct.
be?
So actually, like here, they are taking IaaS as it will be actually falling in the middle. So it you have some applications of IaaS which will be in application layer. So this is not like this is the IaaS, this is the PaaS, and this is a how the Azure platform is created.
Okay,
So
okay,
even when you go for a VM, so internally it will somewhere you're creating a hard disk, right? So that is your drive. Okay, so when we go into the VM architecture, so you will see like the VM comprises of your network, your subnet, your security group. Then inside that, your VM will be there. So inside the VM, again, you'll have a drives, some blob files, or maybe like some virtual drives and all. So that's what consists of your IaaS.
okay,
Okay, so
okay,
that's the reason like both IaaS and PaaS are present in the application layer because you're not going to go into the server's hard drive and all in Azure. So you will be
right,
basically doing a RDP to the VM and you will be consuming the D drive or C drive and all in the VM,
okay,
right?
okay,
So that's why this is present in the application layer. It's giving you the infrastructure as an application. Okay,
yeah,
so basically like when you have a on-premise server, so you can go to the server room and you can see all the drives and everything. Correct.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that is this thing, this drive, this last layer. But when I'm giving you a VM, you can't go and see the drive. But you can access,
right,
you can RDP it and you can access it. So I'm giving you it as an
right,
application. So that's why it's an
okay,
application layer.
okay,
Okay, so instead of segregating here as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, so here you can here is the segregation based on the layer. So data layer, application layer, then integration layer, then client layer.
okay, okay,
Okay. Okay, so next thing we will see is the services which Azure provides. So first and foremost important is compute services. So this will have all your virtual networks, your VMs, your network security groups, your subnets and all. So basically all the things which are doing any computations or they're computing something and building you other systems will be present in compute services. So next is mobile services. So you need to have a mobile application and all, so you can use the mobile services. So storage in the sense if you want to have a say a file share you want to have in cloud. So normally in companies they will have a network path where people will put files to share with others, right?
right,
So same thing I can do in cloud. I can create a file share in cloud and I can give the access to different teams and they can collaborate with their files. So apart from that, we have blobs, we have page blobs, we have tables, queues, and all. So we'll see that in the storage. class. Okay.
Okay.
So next is data management. So data management is basically your backup and recovery and what all kinds of backups is happening. So how is the data getting managed? So here we will talk about the blobs, page blobs, and all those things. So coming to messaging, so here when we talk about messaging, so here it is not about the Outlook client or like mails and all happening. So here messaging is so the communication between two services or two systems in Azure. So say for example, in your portal itself, you will have a graph of how one particular server is functioning.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, VM or any a virtual machine, how it is functioning, or Azure SQL, how it is functioning. So basically your Azure SQL is talking to your portal or portal service using messages. So message is something like you'll get the notification in mobile, right, that this thing happened, or say account, your money got deducted from your account or came to your account, so you're getting messages, right? So
Right. Yeah.
each message will give you some data that this is happening with the server right now. So from reading the data, you can interpret that, okay, this is what is happening. So I don't need a full big mail with logs and everything. From this message, I can understand. Okay, so that is the messaging service which runs inside Azure, and it sends out and creates messages for all the services inside Azure.
Okay.
Okay, so next is the media services. So mostly like YouTube, so you can have videos, photos, and all in Azure, and you can stream them from Azure itself to any client device.
Okay.
Okay, so CDN is called a content delivery network. So if you're familiar with maybe any web application like HTML or JavaScript and all, so mostly the HTML files will have a JavaScript file. So say for example, the same JavaScript I want, or same version of JavaScript I want to be used by the entire project, and whenever the JavaScript is getting updated or the file is getting updated, you want the entire project to have that file, but they should not do any changes in their code.
Right.
So basically what you will do is you will take that file, keep it in a content delivery network, and you share the URL to them. So they will use the URL in their application. Okay, so your content is residing in a particular place and is delivered via network to the application when they need it.
Okay.
Okay, so then is developer services. So mostly talking about Visual Studio Team servers and those things and all. So development. So mostly what we'll do is we'll see how to publish application from Visual Studio to Azure. We'll see like how you can deploy to application service, how you can deploy to the FTP directly. So those things basically will cover. So
Okay.
next is management and automation. So I've been talking about management till now. So it's about how you manage the data, how you manage the virtual network, how you manage the subnets, and basically how you manage users, how you manage devices inside your company. So all types of management can be done in Azure.
Okay.
So when it comes to automation, I can give one very simple example. So this, say for example, like today my Amazon's Big Billion Day is going to happen, and uh, I don't want to go and increase my VMs because I don't know like 50,000 users are going to log in or a million users are going to log in. Correct.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what I can do is I can automate the task. I can have a rule that if you see the CPU percentage usage is going,
Just a minute, please.
yeah,
Sorry.
you can take that, no problem.
Sorry. Sorry.
No problem, no
This conference will now
problem.
be
Yeah, can you hear
recorded.
me,
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Vinod?
Yeah, I'm able
Okay,
to
okay,
hear you. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I have started the recording. Okay, so basically, I was talking about management and automation. So if
Yeah.
a big billion day is coming and I want to I don't know like how many users are going to hit me. It may be 50,000, a million users, or 2 million users. So I can set a rule that if you see if Azure is seeing that my VM's usage is increasing, then it gives me one more new VM.
Right.
Okay, or 5 more VMs I need. So based on that, it can we can make that automation. Say for
Okay.
example, like I already have everything set up in one data center. Say UK data center, I have a virtual network, app service, a VM, a subnet, all those things I have already set up, and the same setup I want in my US server also. So what I will do is I will create an automation script. I will download that entire group as an automation script, and I can run that script in a different server. And in that server, I will have all the things installed directly. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
all levels of automation can be achieved here. So another one
okay.
automation is like, say, every day around this time. So this particular application's log should be sent to this person as an email or as a link. So that also can be done. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
all kinds of automation is possible.
Okay,
So next, coming to machine learning and Cortana. So machine learning is right now a very niche topic in IT. So it is basically your machine is learning about the user. So say
okay,
for example, like from my location, say I am in Chennai. When I go into Amazon and shop for products, so it will show me the products which are easily first available in Chennai. So
okay.
next products and all it will show which are nearer to Chennai, let it be Bangalore or Hyderabad and all. But if I move to Delhi and I search there, it will show me products from Chandigarh or somewhere from Uttar Pradesh or nearby states and all.
Understood. Okay. It
So
tracks.
yeah, so everything it is learning and it is tracking. So next
Okay.
time when you go into shopping, it will directly tell you. So mostly if you see this ticket booking, movie ticket booking sites, so they will show you like we saw that you are from this location, it is taking your location and it is showing you the theaters near you.
I understood, sir. Understood.
Okay, so that's a simple of machine learning. So okay, one more example I can give is like, say when I got married, I updated my anniversary date in Facebook.
Right.
Okay, so now in Facebook, I'll see advertisements regarding honeymoons. Okay, and once
Okay.
like I had a child, I had a daughter. So now Facebook started me all the things regarding baby products and everything.
Understood. Understood, sir.
Okay, and even what is more interesting is, so if I've searched something from Amazon, so that related that advertisements are showed in Facebook, right?
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
is the level of learning the machine is learning about you.
Okay.
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 So Cortana is like we have right now the Google Assistant or the Amazon Alexa Assistant. So it is basically a online assistant or online IT assistant which can help you to achieve simple tasks by just dictating the command. Hello, Raj, you're with me? Vinod, you're with me? Hello, hello, Vinod, can you hear me? Hello, Vinod, would you like to dial in? Hello, Vinod.
We are
This
just talking
conference
about
Okay,
will
that
okay,
now
fine.
be recorded.
regarding that Cortana.
Yes. Yes. So Cortana is basically the Microsoft Assistant, which can help you in do small jobs. Like uh, what I did is, like I have Cortana integrated with my Outlook, and I can ask Cortana to draft a mail and send it to me, or remind me to send a mail at this point of time. So Cortana will give me some notifications that this mail has to be sent by this time and all. Or you
Okay.
can ask Cortana to set a reminder. So whatever you see right now, Google Assistant or Alexa doing, so all those things Cortana also can do it.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Okay, so these are the high level services which are provided by Azure and which are widely used in the today in the IT.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So Azure is available in 36 regions around the world, and it is taking up more regions also. Even like in Africa and all, it is also trying to build infrastructures.
Right.
So like it is trying to increase its size because there is a huge demand for cloud. So right now, if you
Right.
see all applications and everyone before like this cloud thing was not there, so only few companies had got the hold on this IT market. But now,
Right.
if you see, so we're starting a lot of startups and all are happening, right? So basically, everyone needs a piece of the cloud.
Right. Right.
Okay. So next one we will see is design. So internally, so Azure has something called a fabric layer. So a fabric layer is actually the blood, or it's the internal structure or internal organism inside Microsoft Azure, which does all your things. So when you're going and creating a VM, or you create an application service, you create a website, so whatever you're using in Azure, internally everything is done by the fabric layer. Okay, so you can think like it's like small organisms living inside the Microsoft Azure, which does all these things for you.
Right. Understood.
Okay, so that is the fabric layer of Azure. Okay, so again, scaling and reliability. This also we saw. So this is controlled by the fabric controller, and you can have APIs built with REST, HTTP, or XML to interact with your Azure services. So you can also interact with Visual Studio, GitHub, and Eclipse editor. So basically, like they're saying, like we have made Azure widely available, interactive, so you can integrate easily. So we're giving you all the standard protocols and everything. So uh, let it be you're a developer or a platform guy or a infrastructure guy, so you can always use Azure according to your need, right? So they basically try to explain that right now the next level or the next thing in cloud computing is Azure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So when it comes to deployment models, so before in Windows Azure and all, there was only this classic deployment model. So classic is basically you can spin up a server, you can spin up a virtual network, you can spin up anything, but everything is not connected to each other. So it will be like you need to configure them to make them connected together. But tomorrow, if you need to move the same thing from one data center or one place to another place, you have to do them separately. So I need to move my VM separately. I need to move my database separately. So everything I need to move it separately. So then with Microsoft Azure, the concept of Azure Resource Manager came into picture, or ARM. We call it ARM or ARM also. So ARM is basically like a folder. So inside the folder, you put whatever things are related to them. You put the virtual network, you put the VM, you put the app service. So if they're related, you put it in one resource group, and this resource group you can move it to another data center or location easily.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of moving, deploying things individually, you can take this entire uh, resource group as an automation script, run the script in some other data center and all, it will get deployed.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so easily using ARM, you can manage all the resources which are present in your resource group.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what is mentioned. In classic model, each machine was managed individually, but in ARM introduced in 2014, it enables user to create groups of related
But
services.
can you just give me an example, because I'm just suddenly got confused. A classic model, we are managing it individually. What does
Yes.
this ARM does?
So in case of 2014, we will be creating something called resource groups. So it is saying like create groups of related services, right? So we will create a resource group, and inside that we'll put everything. So let me, if I have a quickly, if I can show you the one architecture, that will be easy for you to understand. Let's see if I have one. Yeah, okay. Okay. So this is the virtual machine architecture there.
Mhm.
Hello, Vinod, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear. I'm just trying to view that.
Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, I know. Okay, there will be a little latency, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the Azure machine, virtual machine architecture. So if you see, like this is the open internet. So in this
Mm-hmm.
we have something called a resource group. So
Mm-hmm.
inside this resource group, we have the virtual network. Inside that, we have the subnet, we have the virtual machine. So we have the database. So all these databases internally are some virtual hard disks, and this is the storage account, and there is a log storage account. So we may have a physical hard disk also if required. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this entire thing is one resource group. So
Okay.
using Azure Resource Manager. So like I said, Azure Resource Manager. So the manager who manages this resource group.
Okay.
Okay, so this entire thing can be recreated multiple times in multiple data centers or environments.
Okay. Understood. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Something
so I
like
can,
a replica if you need for another data center or something like
yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'll go through details and all in the creating a
that.
managing
Okay.
virtual machine class.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay, so create groups of related services. So uh, the main thing here you need to keep in mind is that, so the services which you're creating, it should be related to the particular project or to the particular requirement, so things like that. So uh, it's not like a location based relation or some other based relation. So basically, like say for example, this particular virtual machine and this architecture is going for the HR team only. So you can create a HR resource group and you can put all the data in that. Or
Okay.
suppose this application is going for some other, say, a development team's resource means. So you can create a dev resource group. You can put inside the dev resource group.
Okay.
Okay,
Understood,
all
sir.
their virtual machines, their SQL DB, their hard disk, everything will be inside the dev resource group.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So closely coupled resources that can be deployed, managed, and monitored together. So you can deploy it
Okay.
in different data centers or different locations. You can manage them easily from one resource group, and you can monitor them also. How they are
Okay.
performing, what is the CPU performance, RAM usage, everything you can monitor. Okay, so mostly we will see this in the first one or two, one, three, one to three classes. So monitoring and all will be there after that. So scaling and managing the virtual disk and all we'll see also in the third and fourth classes and all. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so next is privacy. So right now you would have heard this GDPR and all everything coming out. So basically Azure enforces the privacy act, and it is committed to protect your data, since your data is a lot of clients I have seen, so who will to have a cloud resource. They will say like, no, we always want our own on-prem server,
Right.
right? So what Microsoft is saying, like, I have all this privacy act or this HIPAA and EU data protection directive act, everything in place, and I am compliant. So Microsoft is compliant with the EU data protective act. So to
Okay.
manage this privacy and security related concerns, so it has created something called Azure Trust Center. So here, so all its service and services are compliant with several compliance programs, including ISO standards, HIPAA standards. So all these standards it is obeying. So you can trust or you can rely that yes, your data will be secured in Azure.
Okay.
Right.
Understood.
So recently, if you have heard that Facebook has leaked the data and gave it
Yeah.
to the
Right.
US and all for running Trump as president, right? So similar things Microsoft can't do. So it is
Okay.
coming under the act. If it does something like that, it has to pay the fine.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So next, these are the certifications which are available for Azure. So like I said, the first one is for solutions developer, that is developing applications in Azure. So next one will be like certification solutions expert, and next one is certification solutions associate. So
Okay.
basically you will first you will learn how to develop the applications. So next you will be thinking about a little bit of implementation and all, and last one is about like architect level certification.
Okay. Development of this one something I need to learn some language or something like that.
uh, if you
This.
are going for IaaS or PaaS, you need a basic learning of PowerShell.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're going for more of a developer or web application developer or mobile application builder and all, then you need to learn any language. So the first thing in Azure is it is codeless, serverless solution. So you should not you don't need to use any code to achieve something, but if you know the code, it is a little bit advantage. So say for example, you need to create 100 VMs now. So you can't go every time to and click the create VM button and click this button, fill all these details and submit and all. So what you
Understood.
can do is you can write a PowerShell script which will have all the commands with all the 100 VMs with different configurations. So you can run that script and all your 100 VMs will get created at a time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Understood, sir.
Tomorrow, say anything happened to the VMs, everything you can delete again and recreate the entire architecture also.
Okay. Other than
So that
PowerShell script, what is available?
uh, like I said, so if you want to just go into IaaS or manage Azure VMs and all, so PowerShell is a little bit required. Okay, so again, in PowerShell, you don't have to go deep like creating a for loop and all. So basically, it's a declarative approach. So whatever you write, that will get executed. So
Right.
second thing, if you have like if you want to implement something with web applications or mobile applications and all, then you may need to learn some language. Let it be C Sharp or Java or Ruby or Node.js. So anything you need to learn that. So
Okay.
again, so I don't think like you would be going for that kind of role. So if you're going for a senior level role and all in say IaaS or PaaS or anything, then you can manage with the UI and basic PowerShell commands and all you can manage.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
So currently, I'm just doing PowerShell for some scripts, but I don't know
Okay.
what is
Okay.
happening actually. But it is something which I got from Microsoft and from some MSDN blogs for
Okay.
getting
Okay.
and
Okay.
setting some data.
Right. So uh, the main thing which I say to my students is so you need to have a basic understanding of the code. See, all the code is already available in the internet. Okay,
Right.
so someone or the other would have written the script and it will be there in GitHub. So you
Right.
just need to download the script. You need to change the variables, run it in a test environment, see how it is performing. If it is fine, put it in the production environment and run it.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So everyone does that. So right now, like very few, for very few things, we actually go and write the code because everything is already available in the internet.
Understood.
So
Yeah.
instead of building something again or reinventing the wheel, you can do something else in that time.
Okay.
Right. So all this PowerShell and also I'll go through the basic scripts and all and basic how to create a virtual machine in using the PowerShell and all. We'll see how to uh, make it a web server in PowerShell. We'll see. So how to create a service certificate or SSL certificate in PowerShell. We'll see. So all the basic things we will cover on PowerShell.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that is the end of my slide for the introduction one.
Okay.
Okay. So let me save it. So if you see, so this is actually the syllabus which I have, which I will cover. So
Mhm.
this is not the syllabus which Peasant Technologies or which the Gang Board has in their site, but
Okay.
I will cover all the concepts which they have it in the syllabus itself. Plus,
Okay.
this syllabus will help you to be prepared for the certifications and all.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so
Okay.
mainly we saw today like introduction to cloud and Azure. So we'll see something about virtual machines in Azure. So we'll see how to do a configuration management, automation, and debugging. So how to do networking and all we'll see. So how to scale the applications and monitor it we'll see. So we'll build a small, highly scalable application. Then we'll dive into Azure AD applications and service. The service bus is actually the messaging service and we'll see
Okay.
something about storage like what is a blob storage, SQL DB, Redis cache, Cosmos DB. So those we'll see, and maybe we'll create one website and host it in Azure. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so in the storage itself, this content delivery network will CDN will be covered, and a little bit about media services also I'll explain. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so
Okay.
to complete all these things, I will need. So if you're going for 2 hours plus, then maybe I can complete it, within 7 to 8 classes. So if
Okay.
needed, like we will extend. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Or if you
Understood.
need any class in the middle for any doubt clearing or anything, you can always reach out to us. Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay. So this whatever I have mentioned it. So same things I have just repeated. Okay. And after every class, I will share this video with them. I think either I'm not sure if I will share or Gangboard will share with you, but they will share this video with you.
okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
plus like all the screenshots or whatever I am having it, so that also if needed I'll share with you. So anyways, you'll have the video, so if you need the screenshots I'll show you. So
Okay.
before we leave, so let me just show you one thing. So mostly like how we will go is
Okay.
I'll open up the PPT which will. Hello,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, sir. I'm just seeing your
hello,
dashboard.
Vinod, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, so okay, so like this, like I'll open the dashboard. So then you go into dashboard or go into new and then compute. So click on this thing. So next fill all these details. So go to next thing, select this thing, give OK, select something. So this is the how I will take you through each and every screen. And the same thing also you can try it in your trial tenant.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and like each and everything. So even if deployment is in progress and next is succeeding also, I'll have that in the screen.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so
Understood.
once it is succeeded, so you can RDP to the server and you can connect it. So basically, this is how like the VM is getting created. Okay,
Oh,
anyways, I'll,
okay.
I'll cover it again in the next class also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so if you feel like this is you're not comfortable with this or you need to see it actually in the server, so let me know. So I have the portal also with me. So let me show you the portal. So portal.azure.com.
But I will be getting the trial. I can register, no, by.
Yeah, use of portal. So basically, you can have a like they will ask you for a debit card or credit card or anything. They will charge you ₹2, and the ₹2 will be reverted back
Yes,
to
sir.
you also.
Okay.
And you'll have a 30 days of subscription with around $200 in your kitty. So with that
Okay.
$200, you'll be able to create some VMs and you can manage. So here I have set it to a black
So
theme.
whether I need to
So
deposit $200 or something like that?
no. So I'm saying
No.
like you can go for let me show you. So Azure free trial. Okay, so you can go to this link Azure free trial. Okay, so if you can see here, like what all things they will give you. So within 30 days of sign up or existence of it, so with the Azure free account eligible, you'll receive 13,300 rupees. That is around $200. Okay, so if it is since it is in Indian rupee, it's showing 30,000 rupees. So this
Okay.
13,000 rupees you can use to create your sources in Azure, like virtual machines and storage accounts. So like I said, everything in Azure is charged, right? So that's why like whenever you're creating any VM or anything, if it is running, you need to pay for it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so the money will be deducted from your this 13,300, which will be there in your kitty.
Okay. But
Okay,
I
so
don't.
only
I,
thing,
I will. I will not be charged or something like that. No? It's just
no. So even
points
like
they are
if
just
say for
giving.
example, yeah, so even say for example, this 30,300 is finished. Okay,
Okay.
then what Azure will do is it will send out a mail to you asking like, would you like to continue? Would you like to like deposit more money or not? So if you're not depositing money, what it will do is it will delete all the VMs or whatever you have created. Okay, so that
Okay.
is also fine. You can create another Microsoft account and you can again get $200, right?
Okay, sir. Understood.
So that's how you can proceed with it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So there is also something called self-paced labs. So before going for a trial tenant, I will suggest you to go for the self-paced labs. So because that is valid for 30 days only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like something called a Microsoft self-paced labs, where if you see like already it is giving you some servers in Azure itself. So if you want to learn Azure SQL database, application innovation and all, you can go here. and you can go into view details, and you can
Okay.
start this particular lab. So basically,
Okay.
like what will happen is they're giving you a virtual machine for a limited amount of time. So this lab will be available for 1 hour to you only. So once you finish the
Okay.
1 hour, again after 24 hours only, you can come back to this lab.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
here also like it will give you something like a RDP into the system, and there you'll have Azure subscription and all. It will give you a username password which will have Azure subscription, so you can go and even play around.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so once like I complete say 1 or 2 weeks trial tenant. Okay,
Okay.
so basically like whatever you need, whenever you need, you can go around and play around in it.
Okay.
Okay, and one more thing also I recommend to my students. So if you're just going into the portal and you give create a VM and you create the VM and all, so in maybe 2 to 3 days you will forget that. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I suggest is when you are also doing, you try to take screenshots or try to note your actions or something in a normally a Word file or in a text file also. So if you take screenshots, it is also better. So you can always refer your own screenshots. So you'll have more confidence in your own screenshots than my screenshots, right? So
Okay.
that's how I encourage students to try it out.
Okay.
Okay, okay. I think like we are already ahead of our time. Is
Yeah.
there any other questions you have, Vinod, which you want to
Yeah.
hit me?
Yeah. Actually, first of all, thanks, Chandan. Actually, I was. It was more than expectations. My expectations.
Uh,
Your class was very
oh,
good.
thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
and the next thing I just wanted to know is, see, I am fully into messaging for the last 15 years. Just imagine you are in a place where you don't know other than Tamil, and if you're just going into a different nation or something like that, and how do you approach, or where will I fit in with this? If I just learn Azure in the organization, how I will fit in? For example, to be very clear, I have learned Lotus Notes administration. So I know that
Okay.
I will be placed in an environment where there will be Domino servers, and I have to manage.
Hello, hello, Vinod. I can't hear you, Vinod.
This conference will now
How
be
I
recorded.
just to
Hello.
understand or about my, yeah, just to understand what will happen after I learn Azure.
Yes. So mostly what happens is in organizations they will have like internal job openings, right? So tomorrow, if you want to move to
What
the
kind of
Azure
employee?
team, so hello, can you hear me, Vinod?
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay. So tomorrow, say if you want to move to the Azure team as a infrastructure administrator or infrastructure manager, or maybe the PaaS team as a platform administrator or platform manager. So that also will be helpful to your career since you are already acquainted with how servers work and how you can query the servers, how you can work with the servers. So it will be always beneficial for you to move from one server kind of environment to another server kind of environment, right?
Do I have to
So
learn some basic knowledge like Windows Active Directory or something? Maybe it may be an additional thing, but any
yes,
prerequisites for this Azure?
we have Azure Active Directory, but that is not exactly like a Windows Active Directory. So if you have basic knowledge of Windows Active Directory, like what it is, how it functions, and basic, like if you follow the MSGN articles, you'll get to know. So if you know like how the, or in your organization, if you talk to your AD team, maybe they will be able to help you out. So if you have the basic knowledge of Windows Active Directory, that will be always helpful for you to understand Azure AD also. So
Okay,
again, so like a Windows Active Directory in Azure AD also, you can have groups, you can add users, you can create groups, you can create policies, you can do a lot of other things. So basically, everything of Windows is related to Azure.
okay,
So if you have like, so since you are saying like you have good knowledge of servers, let it be domain servers servers or any servers. So you know internally what is a server and how VM machines work, how you RDP into a server, how you see the server working. So that's why like it will be easy for you to see the server working. So that's why like it will be easy for you to create applications or platform applications. So both Azure administration as well as IaaS administration and PaaS administration and support will be good for you. So any opening in Azure and all, you can always go ahead. But if you want to go for a developer role, then definitely you will need to learn some language. So
Okay.
otherwise, if
Like
you're
C.
going into administration and support, so this is more than enough for you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, Chandra. Okay. So
Okay, Vinod. So
next Saturday it is around 7 to 9 or 6 to
yeah,
which time you
so
want?
yeah, 7 to 9 a.m. morning.
Yes, sir. Okay. So what should I
Okay,
prepare
so
for the next lesson?
I'll give you a call by around 6:30.
Yeah. Now what should be? I will go through this documentation, and what should I
Uh,
prepare
you
for?
don't have to prepare any. So you can like go through like what is basically what is Azure virtual machine and what is a security group, something related to virtual machines, how they scale and all. So
Oh,
basically anything you find on internet regarding virtual machines, you can prepare that.
okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So when can I expect this recording session, including our discussion,
Okay,
will be
okay,
uploaded
Vinod. Yeah,
tomorrow?
so let's wind up. Huh? Thank you,
Yeah.
Vinod.
Yeah. Including our recording
Including,
session, our recording, our discussion
yeah,
will also be recorded.
yes. So everything will be recorded here. So once I exit the meeting, it will ask me to save the recording, and then I can share you the link. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I have your mail address, so I'll share you the link in the mail.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Bye.
So wind up. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.